Good day, campers. Today's project is a safety upgrade of one of my outside showers. We've been full-time in our toy hauler for just over 5 years and have had a few water leaks. All of them have involved these flex hoses where they connect to regular PEX fittings. I've managed to replace most all of them with either PEX or these service lines. This one is PVC reinforced. They are also available in stainless steel. I prefer the PVC because the stainless tends to damage anything it rubs on. You can get them at any good-sized hardware store. I bought this one from Amazon. The nice thing is that all of the faucets and the fittings in the Nautilus panel are 1/2-inch FIP fittings. So I have several of these service lines throughout my coach. As you can see, I have a 1/2-inch FIP to 1/2-inch FIP going from the Nautilus panel to my water heater, and from the water heater back to the Nautilus panel. I also have 1/2-inch FIP to 1/2-inch FIP to and from my water pump. I've also added service line when I installed shutoff valves in my bathroom from the faucet and from the toilet. Be sure to check out my video adding shutoff valves to an RV bathroom. For today's project, I'll be using a 1/2-inch FIP to 3/8-inch compression service line, 36 inches long, to a shutoff valve to PEX to replace this flexible hose. You could probably use a 48-inch service line, but then the bend in the PEX will be tighter. More on that later. This area has always bothered me with it being so close to all these expensive electronics. I think this setup will be more reliable, and because we never use the outdoor shower, I'll be leaving the shutoff valve off, eliminating any risk to the electronics. Because this is a fairly simple project, I'll be showing the actual work of cutting the crimp rings, replacing fittings, etc., for anyone that has not done any repairs on PEX. For the rest of you, feel free to skip past the parts you already know. I've turned off the water and released any pressure in the line. I have a towel here to catch any water left in the hose. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the flexible hose from this fitting. And I'm going to connect the service line to this fitting so that I can measure the other end. I've purchased a tool because I have done so much of this service line that allows me to tighten these fittings. This does a really nice job without over tightening. This tool is available on Amazon, and I will link to it in the description. As a general rule, when I do this kind of work, I try to replace these plastic fittings with brass. In this situation, things are kind of tight, and I don't really have room to cut the pecs to add a new fitting. So I'm just going to remove the rubber hose and crimp my pecs right onto this plastic fitting. First step is to cut the crimp ring. This cutter is available on Amazon, and I will link to it in the description. Be very, very careful once you've cut these crimp rings, because they are very, very, very sharp. So once I've cut the ring, move it away from the fitting. Then I can heat this hose, which will make it soft. And I can remove it from the plastic fitting without damaging the plastic fitting. Just like that. All right, so now we're going to connect back to this fitting. Make sure it's seated all the way. And then we will crimp. For this step, you want to make sure that you're wearing gloves because this PEX will get kind of warm. I'm going to use my heat gun and heat the PEX line and shape it to go from this fitting down to my shutoff valve. And I want the PEX to line up straight with the fitting. It's going to take a little bit of shaping. You have to heat and shape and hold it in place till it cools. Heat and shape a little bit more. So we'll use a little time lapse to make that go quicker. Okay, so we have a nice gentle curve in our line. We curve right down to the shutoff valve. So the last thing we need to do is crimp this one last fitting. And again, we want to get down fairly close when we crimp. So the only thing left is to turn the water on and see if we have any leaks. Well, I've turned the water back on. I have no leaks. I have also turned the shutoff valve off because I do not use the outside shower. If you use the outside shower, of course, you'll leave your valve on. And if you should have a problem, then you can shut this valve off while you make any repairs in the electronics bay and still have water to the rest of your coach. Thanks for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.